Good evening once again, and welcome to another episode of Caribbean Feedback. My name is Curtis Henry.
Greetings.
I'll be a moderator this evening. Good night, family. How you all doing?
We're there, man.
All right? I see we have a very slim panel this evening. Hopefully, we will be having some other folks joining us shortly.
Latecomers.
The latecomers who always come stumbling in the room, books falling out of their hand. You remember them from school.
I know the problem is.
Some of these habits never change, even into adulthood.
And they always smell like milk and cereal. You know, long time is smelling milk and cereal.
Having a late breakfast and rushing to school. You know, funny enough, good night, Lucy O'Brien. Thank you so much for joining us. You know, funny enough, I had a case in New York and the court-appointed attorney stumbled into the courtroom in the same fashion with a bunch of papers, shuffling through them, and then come and stand up next to me to represent me. I didn't even meet the man before. When I talk into the judge is going to look at me and say, well, you're not allowed to speak. Your attorney have to speak for you. I said, I don't have an attorney. He said, yeah, the man next to you. I said, who? I said, spare me this one. No, The man show up late, didn't introduce himself to me, can't find the paperwork, and then he's supposed to represent me in court. No. This is what we're talking about tonight. Sort of legacy. We're talking about legacy. Now I say that in the Trini dialect, in the Trini vernacular. Don't. The word is legacy, not legacy. You know, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, we want to see no legs.
No, not like you're looking at a nice thing and it's pure legacy. No, not that. No, we ain't talking about that.
Legs are seeing. Yes.
Legacy. Lega. How you spell it, Karin?
Legs.
No.
S-E. Legs are C.
No, that is not the one we're talking about. Not the one we're talking about tonight. But anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to get this thing going right into the show. We ain't sitting down waiting for the latecomers. We know they're going to join the conversation, so we're not going to waste too much time up front. Run the thing.
We're going to run the thing.
Bantu, introduce Karin.
My name is Karin Forrester. I represent BantuKreations. BantuKreations offers beautifully made, African-inspired, lightweight, handcrafted, one-of-a-kind earrings in wonderful shapes, shades, sizes, and colors. Please don't be scared of the large sizes. They're extremely lightweight earrings. BantuKreations can be found on IG and on Facebook as BantuKreations. That's BantuKreations with a K.
Come check me out, chriskeys.com. I'm worldwide.
Tony Altamirano.
Hi, I'm Gina.
What's up, everybody? I'm Win Vu, award-winning remixer.
I'm an artist.
Hi, my name's Justina Bethel.
Hi, I'm Mike Bowen from Denton, Texas.
How you doing? This is Tom Cutt from Music by Tom Cutt. Check out Samuel E. Archer's book, Hybrid Executive. We are in the business, and here's how you can be a better business person because you're running your business.
You can find my music at JustinaBeth_EL on Instagram or JustinaBethel.com, and I am a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive, just like you.
Follow me at Koya Music, and I'm also a hybrid executive.
I'm worldwide, baby, but just know I'm a hybrid executive. That's all you need to know, baby.
Get on up, B.
Check out my music, MikeBowen.com. I'm a hybrid executive.
I'm a hybrid executive.
Hello there and welcome. My name is Curtis Henry. Over the past few weeks, as we were putting the final pieces together to get the show on the road, some people ask, why do you need to showcase Caribbean people? Why Caribbean Chatt? And I say, why not? Because we as Caribbean people have worked too hard, come too far, and suffered too long for us to continue taking a backseat. It's time for us to rise up, speak out, and show the world the value and the richness of our culture. So I'm providing a platform to showcase the history and culture of Caribbean people in entertainment, the arts, politics, sports, and economics. We will explore the many profound contributions they have made to society. So we invite you to stay with us as we launch what is to become one of the greatest voices of Caribbean people, for Caribbean people, by Caribbean people. On this platform, Caribbean people of excellence get to tell their story. Our aim is to ensure that your contributions are acknowledged and celebrated. Welcome to Caribbean Chat. So make sure you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. We are Caribbean Chat.
Welcome back. Welcome, Sister Judith. How are you doing this evening?
Okay, how is everybody?
We are fine.
I've been in the green room for half an hour.
What green
room? That gentleman above your head there, talk to him. He's the one responsible. That's the techie.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Sam. Just kidding.
I know. I see it backstage. I know who in the green room from who not in the green room. You feel it, smart?
We're here tonight.
Turn black. Yes, sir.
We're here tonight. We want to bring some heat. Because some people just, I don't know, they're just not getting the point of what we're talking about. Some of us here not getting the point. But anyway, before we start the show, before we get the show rolling, we have to pay tribute to a couple of icons we lost recently. So we want to pay homage as we speak about legacy. They left a lasting impact upon us, and we have to pay them tonight. That image we have up there, most of you all may not know him, but on July 13th, we said goodbye to Mr. Lutalo Makosa Masimba, also known as Brother Resistance. This brother here was from Quarry Street in Labantil, Trinidad, an area where I spent my formative years. He passed away a few days ago at 67 years old. He was one of the founding members of the Network Rhythm Band, where they gave birth to a new art form, which they labeled Rapso. Rapso, which was a combination of like rap and calypso. Later on, Brother Resistance became the marketing manager and general secretary for TUCO, and then he went on to sit at the helm as TUCO president. For those of you who do not know, TUCO is the Trinbago Unified Calypso Organization. It's a sort of how could I call it? An organization that looks out for Calypsonians, so to speak. Sort of like a union. Brother Masimba was a father, grandfather, and a mentor to many others, a trailblazer in the music industry in Trinidad, and he will definitely be missed. Brother Masimba, we salute you for your contribution to the music. It was great knowing you, crossing paths with you, sitting and reasoning with you over the years. Your presence was felt, and your absence would also be felt. What good, brother. This year is Brother Winston So.
That's right.
Another icon, Mr. Winston Lockhart, aka Winston So, recently passed away at age 69.
Oh, wow.
He was from Kingston, St. Vincent. He had hits like Too Much Corruption. But my all-time favorite from him is a tune called I Don't Mind, where he sings about an encounter with a female. He said they were sitting there and she was eating and she offered him something to eat, and he said, I don't mind if you want to give me, I won't refuse it. Because I'm a greedy man and I'm hungry. So you go ahead and eat. Because when you give me something to eat, watch me eat. I'm a greedy man. I don't mind if you want to give me, I won't refuse it. Mr. Winston Lockhart, also known as Winston So, passed away a few days ago. Once again, an icon, trailblazer, made St. Vincent proud. We salute you, brother.
Did you hear about Valère?
Hold on, Judith. Hold on.
Okay.
So we want to take a moment and salute Mr. Bismarcky, originally from Harlem, New York. One of the original members of the Juice Crew. When hip-hop was trying to find its way in mainstream, was heavily underground. We lost Mr. Biz on July 16th. And we want to send condolences to the family and definitely send him in an honorary styling. And this brother man here is Mr. Winston Devin.
Devine.
Devine? All right.
Yes.
Don't keep it. You know, I used to spell a certain way a long time now.
Mm-hmm.
So, known as the Joker, I had the opportunity to cover one of his songs with Oliver Chapman, which was a song called Progress. And he's also known for songs like Maragin for Sparrow, Feeling It by Baron, and My Dear, let me see what it is. So, Saltfish, Philip My Dick Sparrow did those. And so he's, you know, he's going to definitely be missed. And we lost some serious people in the last couple of days here.
Excellent songwriter. Excellent songwriter.
Yes, man. So we want to.
He also did some work for Crazy. Calypsonian Crazy.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
You know Crazy, Judith?
No, I don't think
Crazy, you said?
No, I did not. I didn't actually be crazy.
I've heard of Crazy.
So you were mentioning someone, Judith?
Yeah, this guy name is Valère. I forget his last name. Valère. He's the part that he got famous for, comedian in Jamaica, is Mafi.
Oh, Mafi, yes.
Play with.
Is it Valère or Voiler?
Valère.
Yes, an actor.
Yeah,
an actor on the scene.
Over 50 years. He
Yes.
acted a lot in recent years with Oliver Samuel.
Oliver, yes.
And he played the part mostly of a person called Mafi.
Yes.
He died a Friday, I think, one of those. And I just saw a clip last night with him and Dion Samuels. She's an actress, Dion, whatever. She's well known too. Anyway, she played parts with them, and they're having a birthday party for her recently, apparently, or whenever. And in it, Valère is seen saying to he's giving a speech. It was in November sometime, right? They were having a birthday party for Oliver, and Valère was saying something. He was talking, and everything he said basically was, well, it was nice, guys, like how we used to be. And the way he was talking is almost like he was saying goodbye to everybody. And Oliver said, wait a look, what happened to you? What are you talking about? So anyway, I thought you had known about that.
Yes, I did, but somehow I forgot to put that on the agenda to mention a fellow thespian.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, brothers and sisters, panelists, we're here to talk about this thing called legacy. We touched on this subject matter briefly in other conversations, and tonight we want to bring it as the topic of conversation. Even though its truest definition is an inheritance, something that is passed on to you from family, money or property given to another by will. We must also remember that legacy can be passed on in the form of habits or someone's ideals, up to and including their reputation. In my humble opinion, the Bush presidency, both father and son, left a legacy of war and destruction. GW said it himself, I'm a war president. So in my eyes, that's their legacy. Destruction. Martin Luther King's Jr. legacy is one of civil disobedience, nonviolent protests, and a vision of equality for blacks in America. However, the Martin Luther King that society upholds and projects to our children is far different from the one I adore. The one that says to boycott your oppressor. The one that said there comes a time when people get tired of being trampled over by the iron feet of oppression. That's the legacy of Martin Luther King that I cherish.
Mm.
We must also remember that the answers we seek come from the questions we ask. So I urge you tonight, ask yourself, what will your legacy be? How many of us are really prepared? Do any of you have a will in the event of your untimely demise? Are your children following closely enough in your footsteps that your life's work will be carried on? Some of us here on this panel are writers. Are our children involved in our life's work enough to the point that they would even care to save or read your journals? Or would they become mere scrapbooks to eventually be donated to the Salvation Army? Personally, in terms of legacy, from its original definition, I did not come from a rich family, but I shout these words from the microphone here at Caribbean Feedback tonight. A rich family will come from me. So whether my legacy is in the form of a rich inheritance or this endowment of oratory, I pledge to continue working so that my legacy, my gift, will be one that can serve generations to come. Panelists, talk to me. Are your affairs in order? Talk to me, people.
I don't have an affair. Sorry. I've had my will done. And last year I had my son's, or earlier this year, I had my son's name put on the house. I just joined their accounts, our checking and saving accounts. I did that same thing at the same time I did the house. Practical, reasonable. He's the only one that I have. And so if anything, and it's not a matter of if, it's when, I could go before him, or he before me. But I have a will, and in the will, it's very clear. As a matter of fact, I have to update it, but it's very clear what I want, and whatever my insurance is, take it, pay some bills with it, have a party. You got to have a party in my name, and it's all in there. I want them to have a party. And I want them to play "Greetings I Bring from Jah to all ragamuffins." And very serious about that. The kind of music that I like, play that. Don't. I want to be buried in a pine box. I don't want a coffin. I see no need for all of that. And push me a little longer. I might say just burn it and be done. Basically, it's laid out. Like I said, I have to update the will. But life is tenuous. We don't know when or how. So I did it some years ago, but I just added him almost a year now to the house and to my accounts and stuff. So I'm just practical, I cleaned out my garage the other day. It took about 3 weeks, and that was part of the whole thing. I don't want to leave any foolishness behind for him to go through and say, would mom need this? No, I'm dead. I don't need nothing. So that's how my mind works. I have worked things out as much as I possibly can in my own strength and skill to just make things ready for him. It's foolish otherwise. So, and as to the legacy, one of the things when he was very young, I used to keep that child up until 1 o'clock in the morning writing sentences. I look back and I said, Judith, you're wicked. You're a wicked woman. But I tell you, he ended up being cited in high school for being what do you call that thing? What do you call that thing we do English? What do you call that thing? Can't remember. But
essay, composition, spelling bee,
English literature.
Literature. There is something. I can never remember it. But he got an award for it because he writes well. So, but I didn't want him to be I'm a guy, I don't need to learn how to write. I said, oh, that don't work with me. You need to learn how to communicate properly in writing as well in speech. So that's for me. He knows how to spend money well. So there's certain things that I've already passed on to him, and I'm grateful. You know, I was talking to him yesterday. I said, anything you screw up, that's on you. I've given you the best that I have. So, you know, that's it.
Too many. Let me speak from them. Let me not talk for other people. Let me talk about me. Growing up, 20s, 30s, somehow I looked at things like insurance and say, well, you know, if you're taking out an insurance policy, it's like you're preparing for debt, which was dumb because I had nobody to teach me. I'm just talking street knowledge, and these things just like they weren't important to me in terms of having an insurance policy. But then I remember how difficult it was for me. I lost both parents in a year, in the same summer, same month, practically. And without warning, a whole set of bills just trusted upon your shoulder. We just have to find money. You have to find answers to questions you weren't even prepared to answer. What do you do with the body? You got to call the funeral home. What do you dress the person in? Where you got to buy the plot? Where you going to bury them? And I wasn't prepared for any of these things because ignorance had me unprepared for many years. So is this what I want to do to my children? No. So eventually I took out an insurance policy so that I wouldn't have to leave that burden upon them to have to come together and put dollars together to bury me. So I don't want to leave that kind of memory behind. That as I said before, that legacy is also your story. The story that you tell, the story that you know, how you lived your life and what kind of message you left for the people. So I don't want to leave that kind of negativity behind. So within recent, I did take out an insurance policy. Still don't have a will, but that's one of the things I know I have to work on.
Sounds very serious there, man.
I read a book a little over 20 years ago called Tuesdays with Morrie by Mitch Albom. This was shortly after my mom's death, which was extremely traumatic for me for about the first 2 years. That book, as simple as it was a game changer for me in how I view things. Curtis and I have had recent conversations about my definition of legacy has nothing. I understand that can mean money, property. I understand the physical, material part of it. But for many years now, it has meant, in the book it states, whether by a garden patch, a healthy child, being an active member in your community, neither one is any less significant. For me, teaching and teaching children, I've impacted about 5 children's lives I can count up to this point. And that is most important to me, to try to impart certain core good behavior, you know, no perfect anything. That's not what it's about. But try to impart some positive, you know, things to children. If you can improve their health along the way, even better. I am not about the material, and I haven't been about it, which has been a bit detrimental to me a little bit. You know, I'm changing my mind a little bit about certain things, but for a lot of years, it had nothing to do with material. Legacy for me is being the best person I can be and trying to teach along the way to the younger crew.
Curtis, if you don't mind, I just a quick thing to add. I what you just said about leaving, and I took it strictly me and my son, But you're right, because that's one of the things that I'm grateful that I've impacted the lives of others that I'm not physically or biologically related to. People that I work with. You know, people says to me, hey, tell me how you live like that. Show me how you have that kind of peace. So that is very important to me, because I'm not in this world, because we're not here. Well, we're not here for what we think we're here for. And so if I am not able to help somebody besides my child, I mean, really, life is pointless to me. You have to be able to. And so I've been able to do that. I want to share this with you real quickly. The lady that used to take care of my mom, we have allowed her, by the grace of God, to stay in my mom's home since my mom died. It's now a year. And so without the rest of the family discussing with me, I know we have to do something soon because the mortgage has to be paid. And she doesn't really have a place to go. And it's amazing to me when people say certain things. She said to me the other day, I was talking to her about, you know, and I was not being difficult. I was just saying, listen, I hope you understand how blessed you are that God allowed you to end up with a family who, I mean, light and gas, water, everything is paid. And she's not working. She had a job and the person died. And so she's still there. And she said something to me that I've decided just to leave her alone, because that kind of arrogance really, and I love her dearly as a human being, but I don't like foolishness. And I was talking to her, I said, you know, you're thank God, you're with people who have seen to your needs. My brother in Jamaica sent money for her. This one is looking out. That don't happen often in this world. And she said to me, oh, I'm not interested in temporal things. You know, my thing is working things out with God. And it hit me. And I thought to myself, you know, that's what you call ingratitude. Let's be real. Let's be real. I have a relationship with God, but I also need some place to put my head. I need food. I need clothes. So, you know, when somebody, I'm like, are you for real that you would say that to me? And it was said with arrogance. And I thought, but you know, somehow some of us don't look at life for whatever. But I just thought I would share that because it is like you said, Karin, you're looking at things differently. It's great to have. I am very highly opinionated, as I'm sure you all know, and I have certain thoughts about certain things. But I'm also an extremely grateful person because I've been highly blessed in a lot of ways. You know? But that's a legacy, because one of the things that I want my son and people that know me is to be grateful. Gratitude is a serious thing regarding legacy. All right, sir. Thank you.
Let me bring up a point here for a second, something that just popped into my mind. Any of you all know any lazy people? People that are just lethargic, just listless. I can understand people trying and failing at something. But I cannot understand people who just refuse to try because they don't want to fail. You see, if you're scared to do something because you're gonna fail, and then you do it, chances are you're gonna fail. Because it's like you have a sort of preconceived notion that you're gonna fail anyway, so you're not doing things to succeed. You're doing it with the expectation that you are going to fail. It reminds me, Kobe Bryant had a saying. Kobe Bryant said one time, he cannot relate to lazy people. He said, I don't understand them and I don't want to understand them. And laziness too can become somebody's character to the point that it can become their legacy. To the point that behavior could be passed on to children.
Yeah.
Who look at you and that's what they end up embodying. And before you know it, you have a second generation of lazy, listless, lethargic people.
And self-entitled. Self-entitled. The entitlement thing usually sets in with that.
It brings me back to something you said the other day, Karin, about the individual on what was it, IG, who was cussing with his toddler in his arm. And Yeah.
Not toddler. The child was about 6 or 7 years old, possibly. Maybe even 8, but I think 6, 7. Somebody that I appealed to me as a potential mentor for financial, or like finances. Had some really great ideas until I saw him about 3 months ago, and he was doing a live thing from his home, and his little girl, one of 5 children, came into the room, and he was basically talking very straight. I have no problem with people cursing, me personally, but I don't curse to children. You understand? And for a father to curse to his child, or not at her, but in her presence, and his philosophy apparently in his household is that they can say whatever, and she can say, he can say whatever. He's married. I was like, psh. It's, for me, I know it's a Jamaican thing. I know it's cultural. I know it's probably Black woman thing too. A lot of different factors. I was just like, cut. I was done.
Yeah,
You're teaching a little girl that it's okay for a man, because you are her first example of manhood.
Right.
You're teaching her that it's okay for a man to curse at her in her ear. What else is it okay for him to do?
Right.
I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm done. And I haven't, I know he's still in here, but I haven't watched him.
That's a legacy.
Yes, it is. And that's that, Curtis, you. That's what I said. It's not just material or money. It is also the reputation. It is from your ancestors, your predecessors. It's from a past event. We're inheriting so many things.
Oh no, I'm not debating that in terms of other usages for the word. I'm just saying in terms of the definition of the word. It's the people that make the word, and
but the definition encompasses more than just money or physical inheritance of property. It encompasses much more.
If you go look it up, the meaning gonna tell you.
Me look it up and find 16 definitions. Do you want me to sit down and read them to you?
But each person usually pick up the piece that they're most. That's more
relates.
Yes, we can relate to that. Yes.
Yeah.
But for me,
it's more. That's a legacy. Character, legacy.
Reputation, character, not lying just because you can. Yeah. I cannot stand that. The voluntary liars, as we've stated before. There has to be some integrity somewhere. And it doesn't mean you're going to be perfect. It just means that you're trying to stay on some type of path. Fall off of the cliff.
Boundaries.
Blouse and skirts.
Pants and shirts.
Yes.
Let's talk about. You have something to add to this, to that, Sam? Or before
I gave you all enough time to talk about what legacy is to you. And I'm waiting to jump in the conversation.
Jump, man, jump.
Then jump.
Jump. Jump.
I need to put my 2 cents.
So jump.
What legacy is.
By now, 15 cents.
I believe, yes, that's what I'm talking, 15 cents. I believe legacy is twofold. It's genetic, and according to Karin, she nailed it with its reputation. But I think they're sort of intertwined. You see a child that the parent. I went to a funeral recently, and the guy whose wife had passed on, he had brothers and so on. But I know the brothers, and I'm seeing the children. I didn't know the children by name, but I could look at each child and knew this one belonged to that one over there, and this one belonged to that one, and I was able to point them out. So there's something in the genetically where you can look and see, all right, this is a print. The parents print this child with a code. And in that code, I know it's funny, right? One of the guys years ago when we went to church and so on, he used to be hugging all the ladies in the church. He just hugging, he hugging. Sweet man and thing, he hugging. You know, at the funeral, the son of that son doing the same thing, you know, he hugging. Yes, darling, how you doing? Thing, and he hugging and he hugging. I said, but look at this thing now, boy. Like a replay in front of you. To me, that is a legacy, or it's the genetic version of it. And then you have the reputation part of it. Some people like to throw wealth in there somewhere, like, you know, Walmart. What's the other name? Hilton's, you know. There's a legacy of wealth. Now, we don't know if the DNA and the reputation part is as nice, but they definitely have the financial thing together. And even with the names of the banks and all of that, they Wells and Fargos and all of that. You know, maybe if we
you're looking into the personal business.
If we change, no, I'm just saying, if we change our names to Fargo and Wells, maybe we might, you know, happen to get a little, you know, something in a good way. You never know. Somebody might send you a little envelope with some paper money in it and some coins. So, you know, you could be prepared for that. So legacy is also in the name. Welch's grape juice. You know what I mean? When you hear the word Welch's grape juice, you know that you are
That's family wealth.
Some good grape juice.
Some good grape juice, for sure.
That's right. All the churches, when they have communion, wait, what kind of grape juice you think they use in the communion?
Walmart.
I have no idea.
Welch's, man, Welch's. If it is not Welch's, it is unholy.
You better get that contract soon, you know, because you've just given a great promo for that company.
I thought it's supposed to be wine, but nevertheless.
No, they're afraid of drunk people.
Symbolic of wine.
Help them, Lord, help them.
You know, just now somebody, who was it, Karin, or I think it was Karin, first started talking about, you know, teaching. There's a saying, those of us, no, if you don't know, ask. And if you know, teach. How important it is for those of us who know to teach and inspire others to be their best. So many people have the knowledge, have the information, but tight-lipped. And won't pass it on, won't mentor somebody.
Ever.
How important is it to pass that wealth of information that we have onto someone else? I asked an individual, let me hold the question, because that's what I would like for you all to answer. But I asked an individual the other day, what does he know about the stock market? And he was like, well, nothing really, you know, nothing. I don't know anything. Mm-hmm. And then I started talking what I know about the stock market. And then he started correcting me and then giving me some information once he realized that I was in the know.
Right.
But once he thought I was ignorant,
he didn't want to give up any information.
He didn't want to give up any information.
He wanted to
now,
keep it ignorant.
If he should inform me about a stock and I go invest some money and make money, that doesn't take anything away from him.
Oh yeah? So
no.
So you think?
So why are people so tight-lipped with information? How important it is for us? How important is it for us to teach and pass that wealth of knowledge and information along to others, especially the younger ones?
It's very important.
Very, incredibly important.
It's very important.
So when you know that you're not here for yourself alone, and you get information like, wow, guess what I found out the other day? And people said to me, some ex-sister-in-law, she said, what are we glad to see? So I don't care what you call me. The fact is, by myself, keeping it to me, I had a dream or a vision, whatever thought some years ago. I was in my 40s, and I thought, man, suppose I was the only person in the world, and I had all the chocolate to myself because I'm a chocolate fiend.
All the chocolate to yourself?
All the chocolate to myself.
That is not right.
But listen, man. And I think about all the different types of chocolate. I've eaten some chocolate from France, directly from France. Nice chocolate. And I thought, man, I could eat all the chocolate I want. And let me tell you what, I'm doing this 40-something-year-old woman. I go, but Judith, you would want to share it. I love to share. So for me, having the chocolate all to myself is foolish. Because one of the reasons why the chocolate tastes so good, I believe, is because you eating some and me eating some. It's a good one. Yeah, man, good man. But people don't understand the power of sharing. Don't understand that words and things only takes on real power when you say, hey, you want to know something? You're sharing power. You know, the Bible says in the church, the Bible says, iron sharpens iron. It's the same basic principle. You know, you see me doing something crazy, said, Judith, stop no, man. No, even if I cuss you. Stop no, man. We're supposed to trade. We're supposed to share. And that's what emboldens and that's what builds up the group. That's what makes us, and that's why we suffer as a people, because we are so quick not to tell the other one. And when I tell people things, people literally ask me if I'm stupid. I say, really? So you think that's stupid? All right. You know, so it's a fear that somebody going to get more than you. What's yours is yours. What I'm saying in Jamaica. What's for you?
What for you can't for you.
Can be and for you. So it's a great thing. It's a powerful thing.
I always say a happiness that is sought for oneself alone can never be found. Because you could have all the money in the world and you take a trip around the world, and when you come back, you still need to tell somebody.
Right?
You still need to you still need to show the pictures from all the beautiful sights that you saw. And what you gonna do? All the beautiful pictures that you took, you come back home and sit down in a room by yourself and watch them. Oh, look at this. Who you talking to? Right? You still want to you want to share the memories with somebody. Right? So at the end of the day, you go to spend your money by yourself and you come home and all the memories, you have to keep them to yourself. So you can't find that happiness by yourself. It's in sharing. It's in sharing. It's in giving. And so many people seem to forget about that giving process. So many times we heard growing up, it's better to give than to receive. And some of us never understood that. But everything starts with the giving process. In order for you to get food, you have to give the seed to the ground. Right? You have to give. So why not let the giving begin with you? You have to give. You have to share. You cannot... There's one of your psalms in the book that talk about my cup, run it over. And in order for you to get... I give you a cup of juice. In order for you to get more juice, you have to do something. You either have to drink some, share some,
very true,
or dash it away. Other than that, you can sit down with that one cup of juice for your whole life.
There are people who would rather dash it away. Let me tell you, dash it away than share it. Worthless, wicked people. They rather throw it out and say, I fill it up again. Mad, sick people.
But you have to do something with it in order to receive more. So I'm saying it has to be about the giving process. So why not let it start with you? Share your wealth of information, share your knowledge, share your money.
Share your money. Share your money.
At the end of the day, I gave a speech on Toastmasters a couple of months ago and I spoke about that. I have never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul truck with anybody's possessions. In the end, what are you going to do? You can't take it with you. Everything that you accomplish, everything that you work for in this life, it's going to be left for somebody else.
Yep.
Why not learn to share and give stuff away and enjoy? Let other people enjoy in your enjoyment, as opposed to trying to be, what's the word somebody used there, Karin? Selfish?
Selfish.
Just selfishness. We need to get out of that, because Is that how you really want to be remembered? Some people say, I don't care when I'm dead. I don't care how people remember me. I don't care.
That doesn't. When you think of the person that you've described, who it's one thing not to want to share material wealth because maybe you feel if I deplete myself of it, maybe later on I'll need it and I won't have it. I don't know, but not to share information. I don't get that one. I mean, it's still here. I don't get that. I don't understand that. You have some information that can assist somebody, child or adult, and you don't share it? Damn.
And it doesn't take anything away from you.
Sometimes you don't know if you could trust that you're going to share.
I'm not talking about intellectual property. I'm talking about basic information.
No. It could be anything. It could be anything. So sometimes the person might say, "It's better I shut my mouth because I don't really deal up too much on that side." So let them organize the thing.
Dr. Judith, as women, I don't know if you can relate, but have you ever asked a woman, complimented, "What a beautiful fragrance! What is it?"
Bad word, yeah.
You're like, what the hell?
Listen,
You're not giving away that information.
I tell women in the street, in the store, I say, "Oh, that is so pretty." And I mean, sometimes, thank God, it doesn't hit me the way it hits men. But when I see a beautiful human being, a man or a woman, I say something to them. I love
no problem telling
somebody. I'm drawn to it. But like you said, Karin, I have never understood. I was like, and then look at me like,
do you realize if you don't share the information about the product or something like a staple product, like a perfume, if other people aren't buying it, won't be available on the market for you.
Right. But the thing is, it's a self-centeredness. It's about you're gonna lose something if you give something, and you do lose something.
We have different body chemistry. I'll never smell the same way that it smells on you.
Let me tell you something. That time in the Caribbean.
But I laugh when people do that.
When people would sing in crusades and so on, and somebody might sing a song from like a Lionel Harris song, and somebody sing a Sandy Patty song, and somebody sing
Lionel Harris, I like it.
All these songs, right? When you sing that song, and especially if you sing it in more than one place, then people start to associate that song with you and say that is their song.
Right.
If somebody else decides to sing that song, no, they own the song,
Yeah.
They don't even own the song. This is somebody out in America song.
Nobody try to sing that.
You go and try to sing that song. People go vex.
Yeah, man.
That is not your song.
That
is his song. He's the first one to sing it. I said, look, they don't own the song. Anybody could sing the song. But no, there's some sort of territorial thing about the song. So I hope you change that attitude by now. I think by now it changed. But it was
no.
It's a big argument and thing,
Nah, it's just more sophisticated now.
People used to say, look, my cousin bring down the tape. My cousin bring the tape down here. Is we think this? You can't sing the tune.
Sam, have you ever been part of a choir?
Yes, sir.
You ever been part of a choir? You understand the cohesiveness it takes for everybody to sing uniform
right.
as a choir, regardless of how great a singer one individual may be.
Right.
Because so many times in life, we need to take example from that choir and have that choir mentality that you're part of a whole.
Right.
Because if you're singing as a choir and you now think you have the best voice and you want to shout louder than everybody else, then it throws everybody else off, right? And this is how some people function in life.
Yeah.
Where they figure, I'm taking this from a particular experience I had a few years ago where a bunch of us got together for a particular cause. And one individual, when they decided, okay, we have to set this thing up, set up the company, and we needed somebody to chair the meetings. We need a president. And one guy immediately said, I nominate Dr. Henry. It was 5 of us. 5 of us in the group. The first guy said, I nominate Dr. Henry. Another guy said, I second. I said, okay, I accept. Let's move on. Next agenda. One guy said, hey, hold on. I didn't vote. I said, bro, it's 5 of us. One person nominated me. Somebody second. And I accepted the nomination. That's 3. Your vote doesn't count at this point in time. The guy said, no, I want to vote. I said, okay, go ahead and vote. He said, I think I should run the show. I said, okay, fair enough. Who else?
What's me?
The individual said, well, I think that no, we shouldn't do this for a year. We should do it every 6 months. And it was all about him wanting to be in charge. And if he wasn't in charge, this wasn't going to happen. We called the next meeting. He never showed back up. Everything crashed.
That's
this is where
that's a January 16th. Okay.
This somehow where one person think their needs, the needs of one outweigh the needs of, I forget how Mr. Spock said it, but somehow the needs of one outweigh the needs of many. And that once again go back to what Karin talked about, selfishness. How can your ego be that large that you think you're bigger than the whole, that you're willing to sink the entire ship so that you can shine? Because, and once again, this reminds me of another quote. Kobe was my boy, Kobe said, if it's one thing you can control, you're responsible for how people remember you or don't. So don't take that lightly. And it's so strange that as we sit down here talking, this is the memory I have of this particular individual. It's sad. And in my mind, that is his legacy. Somebody who will sink the ship in order to just for him to shine. You understand? Blow out everybody else's light for his alone to shine. And that is a sad situation, a sad way that for people to remember you.
You know the thing on a ship called a rudder?
I've heard about it. I don't know where it's located.
I heard this pastor talking about it the other day. But the rudder is a small thing. But it's the rudder that keeps the ship on target. It keeps it on course. And they always say that one little thing, it's small. That one rudder keeps a big old ship. So the thing is that the rudder knows its place. The rudder is not trying to be anything but the rudder. And that's one of the problems that I see. I go places and people are always amazed that I'm willing to take a back seat. I said, listen to me. Life is very simple, Life is simple. I don't need a lot of, and I'm being serious. I get a lot of attention just walking in and I say something and I get attention. Why would I need any more attention? And I'm telling you, I used to clean the church in Florida there. I cleaned the church. They asked me which committee I want to belong to. I like to greet people and I like to clean. So I choose the cleaning committee and the greeting committee. And they're looking at me like, why would she choose that? So one Saturday I was cleaning the women's room, the ladies' bathroom is the nastiest bathroom. Just nasty. The men's bathroom is easier to clean. So I'm there cleaning the men's bathroom. One of the big shot ladies, big top-of-the-house lady in the church, she walked by and saw me cleaning the bathroom. And she turned and she went, and she stopped herself. Because she was going to say, you're cleaning the Dr. Judith? Toilet is toilet. Dirty. So one Sunday I'm home and the pastor called me about 15 minutes before church. Could you make an announcement about them? They complain about how the ladies' room is dirty. So I said, Pastor Green, you really shouldn't ask me that, You have a committee chairperson. Listen to this now, that I answer to. And that's what gets people. They can't answer to anybody. So I answer to the head of the cleaning committee. So I said to him, she should be the one making the announcement. I'm not the leader of the committee. I just answer to her. If she said clean left, I clean left. So he said, no, I want you to make the announcement. But he knew that I had the wherewithal to get up there and speak and the lady was whatever. So I go up there, and I was very annoyed. And I went up there. I said, "Good morning, church." I said, "Just let me tell you, the pastor asked me to do this because I was not taking any blame for nothing." I said, "The pastor asked me to address this issue." I said, "The ladies' room is filthy. And I don't understand. We keep talking about we're singing and we're going to the streets of gold and we're going to be doing this in heaven. And we can barely keep the toilet clean down here." I said, "What is the point of that?" No, that's what I said. I start by saying,
mighty PC. That was mighty PC. On a dirty, but clean up after yourself. On the dirty.
But listen, imagine now the lady who's the head of the committee was upset that I went up there, and I'm sure, knowing me, I got to tell her, "Pastor called me. I never want to do it. Call me." But I said, "You can't take in the bathroom down here, but you worry about going to the streets of gold." The architect of the building came to me. He said, "Sister Barnes, thank you. Well said. Don't ask me for nothing. Me just the toilet cleaner. You understand?" But I'm saying that to say, I'm very aware of my function. I don't have to be in a ruling position. I can sit in the back of the church. I can do one day in the church here in Georgia. She always make noise and go on, and she make noise and she go. And I thought this lady was sad and suffering. So I said, "Boy, they need to check on her because she sounded really bad." The attention she was looking. So they called her up and she gave a testimony. You know what she did? After she gave it, they had to ask her to get up because she wouldn't stop. After she finished the testimony, her pocketbook and Bible was in the front of the church because she was in the pulpit. You see, me different. Me, I left my stuff right at the back when me was sitting down. She go, after she finished doing her thing, she go and pick up. No, that was the opposite. She went back to where her seat was in the back and get her Bible and purse. I'm going to sit down up front. Now that she get testimony, she get elevated.
She's a pastor now.
Listen to me. One of the sisters come and take her and put her in the back.
What?
She don't give enough collection money to sit up front, man.
Me know my place. You understand? Me know my. They would have never taken a chance to do that to me. So a lot of it goes where egos and all this stuff. Like Curtis said, the guy rather sink the whole ship than to cooperate. Cooperation is a powerful thing. To cooperate with something good is a powerful thing.
But Sam, you know this too, right? As you know, the willingness to play any part in the process.
Yes, man.
To see the whole team win. Yes. As a producer, how many times you have to sit back and do the best music you can for the artist, even though the artist's song may be sounding better than your artist or better than something you put out, you still have to do the best that you have to do for that particular artist at the point in time. Because in the end, it still reflects on you as the producer, right? Not true?
Correct.
Right? You have to put out your best for other people. Once again, it goes back to the giving process. And I'm pretty sure you could come up with some situations sometimes where some people just figure that, you know, it's all about them and you shouldn't do so good for somebody else.
Yeah, that happens. Sometime a person might say, yeah, I want this track here, or a piece of music might be for another person, and then the person might come and say, I know you had this track for so and so, but I like it enough. Give them the track. You send it for them yet? No? Let me write something to it now. It's almost like a drug deal. Let me write something to it.
And yo, it is so sad. It's sad. You know, there are certain things, certain character traits that I just never want my name attached to. You know, when it comes to undermining people, them kind of underhanded dealings, my name you will never call in the same sentence with that type of behavior. Because once again, that is how I'll be remembered. And that is not the type of legacy that I want. I saw a movie that you recommended, Sam, a couple days ago. Judas and the Black Messiah.
Ah, boy, you see it.
Right? And the brother had the audacity to talk about how he wants his children to remember him. That he was out. I was like, what? I could have slapped him through the TV. How he wants his children to remember him, that he was part of something good while you were bringing it down. Right? You were part of something good while you were destroying it. Is that the legacy you want? Yeah, that is the legacy, unfortunately, that you have.
Obviously, he didn't believe his own words. That was just,
when
in that moment, because he committed suicide shortly thereafter.
That's what they say.
Special aid.
No.
You never know. Dr. Judith, you saw it?
Judas killed himself? No, I didn't see.
Right. So, but at first when I saw it, I was wondering, why did he do the interview? That was like when I saw the movie, I just thought, why did he go and do that interview? And then it dawned on me. I said, you know what probably happened to this guy? I said, this guy lived with that thing for all these years. He lived with it, and it ate him up so much that he just came to, where it says confession is good for the soul. And he did that interview. I personally think that's what happened, is that he carried the burden. The guy who took down, the guy who the FBI or whoever that took down Hampton. Hampton was one of the
Black Panther leaders in Chicago.
One of the Black Panther leaders.
Okay.
That they shoot up the apartment and all kind of thing.
Is it a play? Is it a play on Judas in the Bible?
No. During the 70s, during the Black Power movement, they had the Black Panthers.
Right.
In the Chicago chapter, the guy that was in charge of that, Fred Hampton, was a very young guy, 21 years old, but he led the Panthers in Chicago. The FBI, once again, never wanted any black man to rise to prominence, so they put a snitch inside the Black Panther Party who was working alongside Fred Hampton and feeding information back to the FBI.
And that's why they call him Judas.
Right. Yeah, he knew that they were about to kill Hampton the night, and he set up the whole thing and gave them the schematics of the house as to where he sleeps and who sleeps where, so that when they raid the house, they know exactly where to shoot and where they're going to kill him. And he set up the whole thing as a snitch. They rewarded him with paying him off as a paid informant. For the time that he was working there, he made over $200 and something thousand, which was big money in that time.
That is big money, man.
Big money now. So that's to tell you, 200 and something thousand in the 70s. And they give him a business by the time after they kill Hampton. They give him a business of his own. A businessman. And he went on without anybody in the Panthers knowing that he was the one that betrayed Fred Hampton and got him killed by the FBI. And they did an interview with him in 1995, and I think we didn't see the interview, so we don't know if he spoke the truth. But he said in that interview, he had the audacity to say that they asked him, how do you want to be remembered? And he said, I want my children to know that I was part of something great. I didn't just sit on the sidelines. I was out there in the movement trying to create change. When you helped bring down the Panthers, you sold out a guy who was your friend and made him get killed by the FBI, murdered. Yeah. That's why they call him in the movie Judas and the Black Messiah. So the whole point, that's his legacy. I don't care what he could have done after that.
Right.
To clear his name up, you're going down as a traitor, as a snitch,
them
as a sellout.
If he has any children, they probably change their names.
Yeah, nobody wants to say that's their father.
It's like, oh yeah, that was my dad. Like, what?
Yeah, he was the best snitch in town.
Judas. And in this day and age, for them to associate, the biblical terms and to be associated in 2000 and something as a Judas You know how treacherous you have to be in order for that. And that's his legacy, unfortunately. How he will be looked upon in history. So back to what I was saying, Sam, that willingness to be a part of the process, in order to see the team win. Too many of us want to be the star player. And we're not willing to carry the bags. We're not willing to carry the heavy load. We're not willing to do the dirty work. We're not willing to clean the toilet, as Dr. Judith says. Right? We're not willing to get our hands dirty because we want to be the one up there shining all the time. We want the spotlight on us. And that, once again, goes back to Karin's word, selfishness. A word that we have to be very careful, don't get attached to any of us as being selfish. Anything you want to chime in on, Karin?
No, I just had a question. I think I know your answer, but is it important to each of you here to have some physical proof left behind that you were here? Some, like when you have your writings, your paintings, your music. But is it really, really, how important is it to have that as proof, some form of proof that you existed on this plane?
I think that for me, when I started painting, I remember I said to somebody, I said, listen, if you don't like the painting, talk to God, because it's him tell me I could paint. Don't say nothing to me about it. I never tell you something could have paint. I remember today when I was first married in the early 80s and I moved to Georgia. I lived in a little country town and things didn't work out and I left Georgia. I had some Lenox china. I had some beautiful winter coats from New York. I mean, some really nice stuff. And the way everything worked out, everything was left behind. And I remember in New York going, oh, well, let's start over.
It's liberating. That's what it is.
And so for me, my thing is that I have to stop being careful because I have a tendency of letting go of things and people quickly. So I had to learn. I said, Judith, come on, you got to cool out. You can't do that easily. But my thing is
have a convulsion.
But I wrote somebody that today. I said, listen, let me explain this to you. I've learned to understand this. When I having a discussion, and your job is to convince me of what I believe is not so, let's stop now. Because I believe it why I'm saying it. But I also take the attitude that my job is not to change you from what you think. If that's what you truly think, then let's move on. The problem comes when I'm trying to make you feel that what you're saying is wrong. Now, you can keep thinking that. We just can't talk because I'm not going to change what I believe. Now, if you show me facts about something that makes sense intellectually to me and even spiritually, I say, oh, but unless you give me something really tangible to hold on to, I'm going to stick with what I believe. So what's the point of that discussion? But Karin, like you said, my thing is I sometimes I wonder if I'm disassociated and, I got issues. But I'll say bye quickly because there's no sense in forcing, when they say a square put into a round hole, let me try to put something together. That's why my son puts things together in the house. Because if it takes too long, I say, hey, I'm sick of this now. I ain't got no time for this foolishness. So I think I really have to be careful. Because I'll let go of somebody, I'll let go of something real fast. If it don't make sense. But anyway.
I read something on IG. I'm sorry if somebody jumped on anyone's thing. I read something on IG. I think it was 3-4 days ago. Where I can only paraphrase. I can never reiterate exactly. But the person said something to the effect of, "If you have made a decision to leave my life, then I'm going to have to agree with you." Because you must be doing me a favor, and it's just that in this moment I have blinders on and I cannot see the reason perfectly or clearly. But if you have decided to leave my life, I'm gonna have to agree with you. I was cracking up.
You know, I heard this pastor say on TV on Sunday. He said, "Listen, if you got a problem with me, work it out." And that's how I feel. Work it out, because as long as I know I am not responsible for what you're feeling, you better work it out, because I am not. And I think that is what, I think that's part of what is happening now. Everybody wants somebody to feel guilty about something. And people don't feel a lot of guilt these days. But to me, if you have already made up your mind, when I was very young, my husband, I'm tired of this, and then run out and I run, Joe, no. Let me tell you something. Anybody, I said, listen, use the window if the door is not enough. Because the truth of the matter is, you have already made up your mind. I'm wasting my energy. And all I'm going to do is aggravate myself. And people get very upset. Oh, you're cold. I said, no, I ain't cold. I'm a very warm, loving person. But you trying to mess with my head. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to have me go crazy. And because that's the other thing. This guy was talking about. We got to think and stop with all this feeling business. This feeling thing going to kill us. And that's how we mess up our legacy, you know. And people say, but I just feel that it's the best thing for me to do. No, really, what do you think is the best thing for you to do? So we get caught up in these feelings and we mess up everything. We mess up the present, the past, the future. Well, not the past, but the future. Because our feelings, everything is feeling. I'd rather think it through and say, okay, this is my decision. And like I said, a couple of people told me in the last few years that I'm cold. I said, you have complimented me. Thank you very much.
Let me tell you something. At this stage of life, and I read this somewhere, and I'm gonna use it for myself. The only thing I'm forcing is a rubber band over a big wad of money. That is the only thing That's the only thing I'm forcing in my life right now. I'm forcing a rubber band over a big set of money to hold it together. But to force certain issues and force people to like you and force somebody to be a friend, and I pass that. I sincerely believe. Let me say this one more point. I sincerely believe anybody who removed themselves from my life, you're the one who losing. Because I know to myself I'm a genuine person. I know I'm a genuine person. I know I'm a good friend. I'm a loyal friend. So if you choose whether it's a rumor, a misunderstanding, or you just wake up one day and decide you don't like me no more, and you choose to remove yourself from my life, it's your loss, not mine. Not mine.
I wouldn't even use the rubber band over the money. I'd take a big old, the gallon bag, remember? You buy this, when you store things, I take that box and I put it in the gallon bag. I mean, seriously, anything that irritates me, anything, I say, oh no, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do this. I get one of the gallon bags, I put the money in there, because sometimes the rubber band busts. And it sting you. Sting me one time, I put the backside in that bag. Done.
I ain't forcing, I ain't begging.
Good rubber band.
I ain't forcing no situation right now at all. So because, let me tell, go ahead.
Well, yeah, why I can't get into the conversation? Every 2 minutes I try to come in and let people.
Again, you're in the conversation and here we choose to talk about. Why you're not in the conversation? You're in the conversation, talk about.
I just to mix it up a little bit. I just to mix up the vibes.
But we listening, you ain't saying nothing.
No, but Karin had asked a question: how important it is to have to leave? Is it to leave legacy?
Leave a carbon, some
material. So did you guys answer that, or
I didn't answer?
But somebody answered. I know I didn't.
So I just wanted to say that it's good to want to leave something, especially if you have children. You leave ideology, you leave a little bank account with $20 in it.
Rubber band.
You leave a deed or something somewhere. And So Judith, you spoke about your paintings. The art stuff, you really don't know what people would tag onto.
Right.
So it may be something that either we see it in our lifetimes or we may not. It might be 3 lifetimes down the road that piece of painting get used in a movie, or it get used in a book, or somebody who had their last meal and they use it as a as a mat.
A placemat.
And it became important for something else. We don't know. So art, when you do art, it might not. But I think if we can leave values with the next generation,
that's it.
Across the board, you know, this is how you tie your shoes. This is how you tie your shirt.
Honesty, Sam. Honesty, integrity.
Yeah. And I think that would go a long way, because everybody family have all kind of people in it. You have the joker, you have the mad one, you have the scientist, you have the minister, you have the devil. Everybody in everybody family.
Yes, true.
At some point, you just had to let it run, because and each person do what they do, and the next generation come take over the handle, and and again you see this one is the pastor. This one looks like
everyone.
This one he just loved plenty women. This one here, and it's the same thing you see that it's going down to the next generation. So
I agree with you.
Mind the footprints you leave in the sand.
Right.
And then if you realize that some of the prints need to be done and over with, you set a new trend for the rest of the family to follow. Or you do what they call break the cycle. If it's something that's detrimental, you break that cycle. And then
I think that's why, Sam, I think that's one of the things that, and I'm very serious about it in my thinking, is that daily, I try to be a better person. You just said it. If you don't like the footprints, if you don't like what you see, but then you have to be honest with yourself.
True.
If you don't like what you're seeing, that you could leave as a legacy. As long as you're breathing. My mom did that. As long as you're breathing, you can turn that around. If you used to lie, you can stop lying. If it's 2 weeks before you die, you can stop lying. If you used to thieving, and you recognize, you say, and it's amazing how that 2 weeks before you die, that not stealing, it sticks with people because they remember they used to thief all the time. So this new person, but we have the choice, and that's a very powerful thing. Even in terms, if I was counseling somebody, I would say to them, no, but I don't have enough time. I said, no. You're looking at it the wrong way. If you start now, if you start at this moment, changing, powerful, you made me want to write, change the footprints. If you start now, you can change that legacy. That footprint can change. The point that people say, I can't believe that's the same person that behave like that. But people have to become consciously aware of saying, I have to stop this junker behavior. Stop it. But if you think your junker behavior is okay, then you just keep doing it. But I think that is such a powerful thing. And I think people need to know that from this moment on, you can fix this thing. You don't
introspection is a skill, man.
It is.
People don't have it.
Just want to listen. This company that deliver furniture called Rooms to Sell Furniture, Rooms to Go, called the other day, and they were supposed to drop off this chair before I went to Florida and whatever. And when they called me, and the lady called me the same day they were supposed to deliver, she said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, but the driver had an emergency." And so I started saying, "Oh," because they should have come before. I was like, "Oh, so that means he's not coming." I heard myself. And she said to me, I said, "Okay, so I've been waiting for this thing, and I started going to something, and I heard myself, and I say I attribute it to the Holy Spirit. I heard in my mind, I heard in my spirit. So let me ask you a question. How much share you have in the house? How much share you have right now? If you don't get that share today, you're gonna dead. And what I did, I stopped myself and I said to the lady, is the driver okay? Let me tell you something, man. When I did that, I felt fabulous because I turned it from me and I turned it to the other person. And I said to her, and the lady was shocked. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. Seriously. That's what we're supposed to. And I said to her, is the driver okay? And she was like, oh, yeah. He just had an emergency. I said, ma'am, it's okay. Whenever you can deliver it. If the driver is okay, I'm okay. And I got off that phone and I felt so awesome. Look at the backside, I have 14 chairs downstairs alone. And the Spirit said to me, so let me ask you a question. How many more chairs do you need?
But as you said that, there was a time, I remember a few years ago, when I came to a crossroad in my life where I said, I am going to start speaking positivity. I'm going to I'll stop the negative reinforcement of I can't afford this and this too much money and those types of things. And then when I decided, but it's funny because when you decide that now, you look back and you realize how much of the negative you planted, and then you realize that all these years of stuff have to materialize because you said it. So even if you changing it and hopefully and gradually it materializes to what, to the positive sides and stuff. But all them things you plant had to grow, man.
Serious.
If you invent a weed killer for negative sayings, give me a bottle so I can go and spray.
But that's
some of them negative things I said and kill them out quick.
That's such a powerful thing. Powerful thing. Powerful.
And the reason why I remember that too, Dr. Judith, because someone close to me, I was talking to them today, and they're like, I'm not good at this thing at all. And I had to stop them. I said, no, don't do that to yourself. Positive reinforcement. Because if you keep doing that, you
becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, you're not going to rise above that. And you can rise above it.
True.
You may not be an expert, but you could. There's a way to, get beyond the hurdle. So this is also another part of the legacy, or part of or component that we have to start, paying attention to. And then that can definitely change the outcome for us in the future.
The Bible says, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, think on these things. Because if you have a choice between thinking on good and bad, why not choose the good? Seriously, it can't hurt you. So listen, what you just said, I have somebody in mind, I'm thinking about that negativity and that every day sowing it. And then they look at me like, how come rarely in my life do I say anything about, well, I don't believe that going to happen. Very rare that I say those kind of things. It don't make any sense, but the tongue.
We may not see life and death, power of life and death is in the tongue. Yeah. And I also said this in my speech, in my Toastmaster speech. I said, I am are two of the most powerful words in the English language. Yeah. Whatever you place after them can easily become your reality. How many times you get on the phone and you profess to people, I am, I don't even say the word, but that when you don't have no money, right? I don't even use the word.
No.
Right? right? How many times you get on the phone with somebody and you say, I am, boom. And then you wonder why you continue being in that situation because you keep professing it. You keep saying that you are this, and the mind, it doesn't know whether or not you're joking, lying, or telling the truth. It's gonna believe whatever it is you keep telling it. So if you keep saying I am this, the mind, all right, well, I guess we are this because that is what he keeps saying. So I'm just gonna give him more of what it is he wants.
This is seriously attracted.
More of what it is he wants.
I am rich. Yes.
Yes. Say that. Say that. You know, I think we have the power to shape our legacy or perception of how the world sees us. Simply by committing to tasks or, let's say, milestones that we set for ourselves. So many times, you know why a lot of us don't hit targets? We don't aim at any targets. It's hard to hit something you're not even aiming at. Right? Yeah, you're all over the place. And I think the song that said it where best said the thing is that we don't set high expectations for ourselves. We set low ones and we always seem to hit them. We set low ones and we always seem to hit them and we wonder why we can't get high. We're not setting high expectations. So we have to set high expectations, aim for that. It's okay if you fail. And I spoke about that earlier on. Many people expect to fail. Right. And you know what happened?
They fail.
They fail because that's what they expect. They're saying we learned this in school. When you plan to fail, when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Or when you fail to prepare,
prepare to
when you fail to prepare to fail. And that's how so many people go through life. We don't prepare for stuff. We don't plan for stuff. We don't set our expectations for ourselves. And we wonder, why is it we just cannot seem to excel? Why it is we cannot see? So, Judith, you said just now, if the people don't like the painting, blame who?
God.
Blame God because he tell you to paint. So to the listening audience, if anybody do not like my poems, blame Judith. She's the one that told me I can write way back in 1980 something. Right? She's the one that get me into this poetry writing thing.
Judith is responsible for that?
Yes. This is the same one here.
That one we see laughing in this.
This one here, that same one there.
But listen, because I know the power of words, I'm not offended by him saying that. You understand? I'm not offended by him saying that. I mean, I know the reality is that I'm not making him right. But I planted an idea.
She made me right. She made me right. Because every time I come to her and I said I can't do it, she said, you still have time. She said, yeah, you still have 2 weeks. You still have 2 weeks.
You see what Miss Sylvester just said about her and her grandmother said? If you keep claiming things, if you keep claiming them, you'll own them. We own what we claim. That's what Miss Sylvester was just saying. But listen.
Don't call things on yourself.
Don't call things on yourself. But the thing what Curtis is saying, that's part of my life. I will see something in somebody that they're not even fully aware, and I say, you can do that. No, I can't do it. And I say, yes, you can. Do it. And then, they start doing it. But that's part of my calling in life. I know what my calling is to encourage people. But no, I told people, I said, if you don't like, and listen, there's a freedom. Maybe Curtis feel free in saying what he just said. I know there's a freedom when I said, blame God if you have a problem with painting. Because I never ever said any such thing. So the thing is, guys, I say it all the time to myself. Sometimes I come up with steps. I said, sweetheart. I call myself sweetheart. I say, sweetheart, you did good today. You did good today. And sometimes I write down the things that I've done for the day because I need to feel that I'm accomplishing. I need to say, no, I'm accomplishing something. And if I don't do well, I say to myself, I can do it another time. I give myself the leeway.
Let me ask you something. When you call yourself sweetheart, are you talking to your mind? Or are you talking?
I speak it out. I say it out.
Talking to yourself?
Well, usually it's me alone here besides the Holy Spirit. Yeah, so but I say it out loud.
Okay, I just was wondering because like, I mean, we don't want to be, I just want to make sure you don't have multiple personalities.
Listen to them, man. Call them and let them come, because by the time I don't talk to them, then they come to take me. By the time I don't talk to them, they say, man, let's get out of here, man. She crazy. But it's a way of encouraging yourself. I will say, nobody encourages me. Who am I? I can't encourage myself. And it feels good.
I told somebody that today. at the job. He was like, wait a minute, you over there talking to yourself? I said, yeah. I said, I'm the smartest person I know. You want me to ask you? I asked myself the question and I answered. So wait, hold on. How would you do this?
Hey, Curtis.
And the man watching me, so he said, wait, you're talking to yourself? I said, yeah, man. Why would I ask you? You have no clue. Why would I ask you the question? I asked myself.
Curtis.
And myself answered and give me the right answer that I was looking for.
And I said, self, listen. Sometimes I give myself a joke and I hit my leg. I said, oh, man. Sometimes. But something I heard somebody say yesterday, confidence comes from, and I can't remember the exact words, but it's like confidence comes from trusting. Confidence comes from being knowing that you're that's not loved, but it's like knowing that you're cared for. And it's not that way. I can't remember the exact words, but basically they say confidence comes when you know the source, you know exactly what's going on. He was talking about the Lord.
I saw something recently that sort of similar. Confidence comes from not just knowing that you're held, but knowing what holds you.
That's the basic principle. And that's true, because I know, and I can tell anybody, I know, and I ain't guessing. I know where I was, and I know where I is. And where I is don't look like where I was. Sometimes I'm going, Judith, how the blouse and skirt did you make it over? Because I'm talking about some serious, as my girl said, temporal things were happening. And some things was happening. And I was able to get over all of it. And I'm telling you, they have this saying in the church, and I did not look like what I was going through. So the thing is, I remember not having any place to go during the day, having to get out of this house where I was staying. And let me tell you, I'd get up, take a shower, fix my lunch, fix a snack, and I would get in my car and I would go to the library and I'd spend hours all day there. And then when I left there, because I knew the situation where I was staying, I went to McDonald's or Burger King. It got to the point where somebody come and say, are you at your office? That's Burger King. And I am telling you, as I sit here tonight and came on me this weekend, I was thinking about it. I can say wholeheartedly, I never felt fear. And I'm talking about at one point not having a place to live, not having a physical place, driving around, looking for a place to stay. And I am telling you, I cannot tell you that I felt less than. At times I felt a little pity. But to say that if you looked at me, you would never. I never lost my sense of humor. I never felt like, oh my God, it's over. But I think for a lot of us, when we're going through something, and that's when you find out, the Bible says, he never gives you more than you can bear. I know that for a fact. Because if I couldn't have bared it, I'd have died. So the fact that I'm still here, I could bear it. And you look back and you're saying, now how did I? But that's when you know who you believe in, what you believe in. Because if it was just me thinking of me, and couldn't have made it. But it's that thing that we're talking about, encouraging yourself. And I never thought I couldn't be. I mean, seriously, I never thought I couldn't be who I am right now. But Curtis
is sweetheart the only name you give yourself? Is there another name you
you go back to it all the time. You know that, you know.
No, I don't know. I want to try one, you know, but I don't know.
Sam.
Yes, sir.
This is where me and you got to part company, because if that is the advice you taking, and next thing you walking around the house calling yourself sweetheart, me and you got problems.
Not calling
you got problems right there. I'm telling you right now.
You sweetheart. But Sam, sometimes my brother Winston tends to call me Judes. So sometimes I say, all right, Judes, things are all right. And sometimes I say, you're all right, Judes, you're all right. So it's Judes or sweetheart. You know, as I get better at it, I get to other names. You know, I don't know what I might do tomorrow.
All right, stop with the advice. Change that subject, because me and you will get into some serious arguments. The day I hear you call yourself sweetheart, as a matter of fact, don't ever use that word in my presence, because either you're talking to yourself or you're talking to me, and I can't side with any one of them. So.
Listen, whatever works.
Take that word out of your vocabulary from now on. Don't use it in my presence, please. I beg you. So, Karin, we about there. I wanna take me out with something now. I said, take me home with something.
All right. Something that I wrote about 4 years ago, I think. You guys were having a discussion about the negative people and how they can impact your legacy, your life. And I wrote something, and I was just looking at it thinking, okay. Sowing the seeds of doubt and hate, living for the moment to berate. An ambushed predator has never seen the glory of your unholy scene. To offer condolences seems inept. There's no recovery from your every step. Traces of your seething pain cannot be erased by any rain. I hope your carbon footprint does not stain your DNA. That's all she wrote.
Wow. I don't know what you mean, but it sounds good.
That's the legacy of when people pass on negative stuff to their children.
Okay, well, I got the carbon part of it. It's working.
So in your own words, not the inspiration words now, tell me what we should do from here.
Who are you talking about?
Karin, tell me what we should do.
Me done so me I say no.
You done?
Yeah, man.
All right, Judith. 60 seconds.
You can't resist it, man. What can I say now? Legacy. I pray that I even between tonight and tomorrow, if I should die, that I have already implanted and imprinted, even you guys, something of value, something of humor, and the same for my son, and the same for my family. It is my desire that I leave something that will bring some kind of joy, hope, or encouragement to somebody. The practical stuff, that's there and that's fine. But as Karin said earlier, I think Karin said it, or Curtis said it, we're not taking anything with us. So the best thing to leave is a word of encouragement, or something that says you can do more than you're doing right now, or something that says, you know what, maybe I should stand for something instead of falling for everything. Maybe I should, which is what my focus is, my son. Maybe I should stand up and speak up. And as John Lewis said, if you see something, say something. That is very meaningful to me, that I leave this world, and if there's a headstone, fine. But and if there's a painting that somebody uses or it becomes famous, whatever, what matters to me is who told me to paint. Is who told me to paint. And if somebody gets something from it, and it's always for me is, did I leave something with somebody of value? That's the bottom line. And it doesn't have to be a thing.
That was like 5 minutes.
You're too wicked. Go ahead. I'm not gonna call you sweetheart. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
go ahead, Sam.
I ain't going nowhere. Keep talking.
I think that So I think this topic it was a little brain tease because we spoke about many good topics, so legacy is important, and it's normally like I think I remember things like Soul Food. You all remember Soul Food, the movie?
Yeah.
And
yes.
How the mother was the one that was sort of like the gel to keep everyone together.
Right.
And then I think it turned out that the boy who was doing the narrative throughout the thing, like he became the next person that was the one to gel, to bring, to sort of bring everyone together. And some families, when that person leaves, everyone is just apart until someone else who was destined for that role, and they sort of bring the family back in sync, So it's a lot. I see it in a lot of different dimensions in terms of legacy, but I think the main part would be leaving value, leaving good positive ideology. And when I talk about changing the narrative or breaking the cycle, now this has to be an unselfish action, because someone could break the cycle in a bad way, so it would have to be something that is beneficial or especially to the ones that are not here yet, talking for the future. So it's sort of like planting the tree, and the fruit that tree will bear is not really for you. You just making sure that the tree grows. So by the time the people down the road are born and so on, now they could get off of this particular tree.
Hallelujah.
So that is my 2 cents. Oh no, Dr. Judith is 15 cents. We take it up to 15 cents. So this is my 15 cents.
Yes, sir.
Let me see.
I like that one.
Yeah. That's 5 cents here. You see, 5 cents.
5 cents, dollar. Sorry.
Curtis, you going to address the chat, or I don't know, you're planning to address the chat?
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, so we want to welcome the folks in the chat. Thanks for taking part. Lucy, thanks for coming through. Miles to Infinity. Sherry Ann, Sylvester, Carol Knight. They made some valuable points. Let me see here. Let me see. Sherry Ann says legacy can be in the art of cooking. Some families have a special method of preparing food. That's my great-grandmother, grandmother, and mother. I'm still trying to get there. It's not my forte. So, all right. So you see now, she says it's not her forte.
Right.
Is that a form of not speaking positive into you, or you're just saying it's not your forte? So Sherry Ann, we'd like you to believe that it could be your forte, And
I think Sherian needs somebody to cook for. That's what's really going on.
And
then the greatness will come out. Yes.
So you're saying the seed has been planted?
Yes, it's
That's
there.
right. That's right. That's right. And then Carol Knight says words are powerful. And then Sherian says, I think she correct one of the words.
Yeah.
It said, words are truly powerful. My grandmother will say, don't call things on yourself.
Yep.
And she says that's true. And Cheryl Hope says, great show, guys. Again, folks, please hit the like button, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. And please share the link. And share. And like. And smash. All right, Curtis, on to you.
What I have to say, sometimes in life, you may not even know what your calling is. So I advise people sometimes to become a yes person. Say yes and then figure out how you're going to accomplish the task. If something has been bestowed upon you, say yes and then figure out how you're going to do it. As I spoke with my situation back in 1988, when Judith asked me to write 2 poems. She asked me for 1 poem on Trinidad and 1 poem on any other subject matter. And I sat down and I wrote the particular piece called Trinbago. And after submitting the poem to Judith, I decided to print it up on some paper like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Memory.
And people, this is one of the original ones. Let me read the poem for you all. It says, Trinbago, a place called home. Oh, beautiful islands in the sun, you may stand apart, but you're governed by one. The land of Steelban and Calypso, beautiful woman, soca and limbo. Rich in natural resources, rich in culture. Just the thought of you fills my heart with pleasure. The shelter of your warmth and hospitality cannot be measured in terms of money. Oh, beautiful islands in the sun, how I boast about thee to each and every one. Someday I will return to this great land that I call home. And if you see here, copyright 1988. Now, the story doesn't end there. I wrote this poem, which Judith published in her book, Life of Foreign.
Life of Foreign.
I printed this up, and I started walking the street and selling them. I printed 1,000 copies. This is the last surviving piece.
Wow.
Out of that, I sold over 900 pieces at $1 a piece.
You never give me no money from it.
So,
wow. You're rough, man. You're rough.
So I made over $1,000 selling this poem on the streets of New York.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
And when I was finished, I reprinted it and spruced it up a bit.
Oh, wow.
And I made over another $1,000.
Oh, wow.
Selling an updated version of the same poem.
Wow.
Now, later on, a friend, if you want to call him that, of mine, decided to steal this very poem and printed it on a t-shirt.
Oi!
No, I'm lying. I gave him permission to print it on the t-shirt. But you know what he did? He removed my name.
Oh, no.
And put his own at the bottom.
Oh, no. What a jump.
So I looked upon that and I said, wait a minute. Here's a poem I wrote way back in 1988. Didn't give it much thought. And someone thought it was something of value.
Right.
That they decided to steal it.
Right.
And put it on a shirt. And right there, the idea for XL Apparel was born. Here we are today, 2021. I have my apparel company, XL Apparel. and it was spawned from the guy stealing my words and putting it on a shirt.
Right.
So if he saw the value and customers saw the value in what it is I wrote, that they were willing to buy the shirts, why couldn't I do it? So I decided to print my own shirts. Here I am in 2021, and I have my own company, Excel Apparel. Look me up on Excel Apparel.
That's right. That's right.
Spreadshirt.com. Look me up on excelmedia.net and go to Excel Apparel, and you will see my lineup of shirts. So I said all of that to say thank you, Judith, and to let people know that sometimes your calling comes from little happenstance encounters, and you have to learn to say yes.
True.
And step out on faith, because you don't know where it's going to lead.
Very true.
Where it's going to take you. So the word quit is never in my vocabulary. I'm the type of person, when I commit, I commit. When I make up my mind to do something, I'm telling you, either see me waving from the top of that mountain up there, or you'll see me skating on the side coming down. But if I tell you I'm going up there, I'm going up. That's the type of person I am. I commit, and I commit to my commitment.
Aye.
All right?
Wicked.
You can't go through life being someone else, being who someone else wants you to be. You have to be true to yourself. Step out on faith. Pick up the microphone. Sing. Pick up the pen. Write. Get on the stage. Perform. You have no idea where your passion, your dreams may take you. Venture out. Take chances. Answer your calling. Do the things that you are called upon to do. You have no idea where it will take you.
I agree.
That may be your legacy. That book that you wanted to write. That book that you've been promising to write, Karin. That may be your greatest contribution to mankind.
Write that book. Write that book.
Write that book.
That's right. Write that book.
Compile those poems. Share them with the world. You have no idea.
Otherwise,
it may impact. Some individual may pick up your book one day, Karin, and read a poem, and it may stop that individual from committing suicide.
Yep.
You have no idea. You have a calling. You have a gift. Put it out there. I'm calling you out tonight.
All right.
Write those poems. Publish that book. Give it to the world. I said it before. We all come here with gifts, and they are not for us. They are for us to share with the world. Big up to Sherelle Hope, my sister-in-law. She mentioned it last week about doing her ice cream, and I had no idea the magnitude to which she has taken it. Anybody in Philadelphia, look up the girl ice cream wicked. I ain't tasted it yet, but I know the ice cream wicked. You hear Baskin Robbins boasting about 31 flavors? Sherelle have flavors that will put Baskin Robbins to shame. That is one person out there that's venturing out and doing. So that may be her legacy. That may be her claim to fame. Hopeful ice cream, however she wants to call it. That may be her claim to fame. Ice cream like no one has ever tasted. So if you have that secret recipe, who was it, Miss Sylvester? That cooking, that art of cooking that your grandmother and your great grandmother, your grandmother, and your mother had, and if you have it, get in the kitchen, burn something, do a thing.
Burn something.
I say burn something.
Burn something.
Burn something.
Do something. That might be a claim to fame. You are already making great contributions with the younger ones that you are influencing, the children that you are teaching. Kudos to that. Congratulations, and I salute you for that. But that passion that you have there, that you may not even recognize yet, for cooking that has been passed down to you, take advantage of that. We have no idea where these passion may take us. Step out on faith. Karin, Mr. Archer, Dr. Judith, it's always a pleasure talking with you all.
Yes, sir.
Peace and blessings.
Bless.
Thousand skirt. One love.
Hi, I'm Dr. Judith Barnes. I'm an author, a playwright, poet. I'm also a broadcaster by training, and I recently found out about 2 years ago that I can paint paintings, which means I paint sceneries, I paint landscape, I paint animals. I have just discovered, and so that I can do this. And so along with all the other gifts and talents that I've been blessed with, I have paintings, and they are on view and for sale on Etsy and also on Facebook. And if you desire to order any painting or order one of my books, because I'm also an author, please give me a call at 470-564-8267. That's Dr. Judith, and the number again, whether you want to just talk to me or order one of my paintings or one of my books, please feel free to call 470-564-8267. Thank you.